Alright guys, let's be back up in the snake room tonight. I've got a few bits and pieces to do, so I thought I'd take yous along. One of the things I'm doing tonight is I'm moving a lot of males out of smaller tubs into bigger tubs, because I've got to the stage of the year that the females are all kind of coming up to ovulation and things, and they're starting to get picky with their food. They obviously, you know, they've only got space in there for one thing at a time. They can't have the eggs and the food. But I find when they're at that stage that they're just coming up to ovulation and they're starting to go off the feed, if I put them into one of these 35s rather than the 60s, they seem a wee bit more secure, and I can get them to eat for a few extra weeks sometimes. And a few extra weeks doesn't seem like much, but you know, those extra weeks of feeding means that they come out after laying eggs in better condition. So it's worth me moving things round about, just for that extra few weeks to keep my animals in top condition. You know, I like my females to come out and lay their eggs and still weigh over 1500 grams if I can. In fairness, a lot of my females are over 4 kilos, so they're big girls. But as I says, you know, it's worth it to me. Bit of new rep to chip. I clean the tub and stick them in there, and they're happier for a few extra weeks. They eat a few extra weeks, and they've got a bit of extra weight at the back end of things. So they just seem to do better and they're healthier for that. One of the other things I'm doing tonight is I'm testing this video camera out that I got. I wasn't happy with the quality of the videos that I was doing for YouTube. I mean, the phone's great and things, but it does have its limitations. So I thought I'd give this a crack. You know, the phone wasn't always doing the snakes justice, and this one, you know, I've tested it on my Pastel Het Desert Ghost female there, and the picture seems quite good, so we'll give that a wee crack, and I'll work through the night, and we'll see how it goes, see what the end product looks like. Another thing that I'm doing is I seen Billy Rose using that Husbandry Pro. I've used a few apps in the past and I haven't got along with them. They've either been too basic or too complicated for me. But if Billy's putting his entire stock, his entire setup into it, then it's got to be worth a look. And for the amount that you're paying on the subscription, you know, it seems not too bad. You can put in your animals, you know, what type they are, what breed they are, your morphs, what you're feeding them, what weight the feeders are, when they shed, you know, when they tie and things like that. So I think it's worth a crack. And as I go through this year or this season, I'll let you know how I'm getting on with it. I mean, I've got a pairing board there where it's absolutely full, and I've got another 7 pairings I need to put on it, so I'm going to have to rub the whole thing out again and write it all back in. But if I can do that on my phone or on my laptop, you know, and keep it on the one database, and then when I have hatchlings, you know, you can generate that and print off what they've had to eat and give that to the new owners. You know, that lets them know everything that their hatchlings done, who the parents were, what they started eating, how many feeds they've had, you know, and what their sheds are like and things like that. So I think if it does what it says it's going to do, then it's going to be brilliant. And I'll get back to you on how I'm doing with it. As part of the Husbandry Pro thing, I've redone all this. You know, I used to have all these stickers all over, and it got confusing at times, to be honest. But with this one, what I've done is I've got those wee business card stick-on wallets things, wee pouches, and these wee coloured business cards. Of course, this sticker is stopping it coming out. But, aye, I mean, these are just wee bits of card in different colours. So I've got the females in green and the males in blue. And, you know, I got them off the Amazon, quite cheap, easy enough to get. So I've just wrote on the morph and the sex. And like you see in here, you know, I've got the male in blue, and when I've got the male in tying with the female, I just put his card in the other pocket, and that again is easy enough to slip out and put in her box or her tub when he's in there, and then put back in his tub when he's away back home. And the other spare pouch I've got on this side is going to be for the QR code. So every time I feed them, you know, every time I see a tie or something, or like the lesser spot nose here, anytime I see an ovulation, you know, I can just scan that code and go straight to the animal and update that. And as I say, if it does what it says it's going to do, it sounds brilliant. So I'll keep these updated with how I'm getting on with it during the year. It's going to take a bit of setting up. I mean, I've got to put every animal in it and things, so it'll take me a wee while. But hopefully it's going to be worth it. Anyway guys, I'm going to make a start on this. As I say, the lesser spot nose is ovulating today, so I'll let you have a wee quick look at her. I'm not wanting to disturb her too much. And we'll give this camera a test, and we'll get the males changed over and get things cleaned out and the females in there, and hopefully we'll get a few extra weeks feeding them, and a few extra grams at the other end of them laying eggs, and healthier snakes for that. Anyway guys, I'm going to move things round about and I'll see you in the next bit. As I say, I gave this Pastel Het Desert Ghost female a wee try just to see how the camera was doing earlier on. And I've got the Butter Het Desert Ghost male in there with him and with her. But to be honest, I think the camera's actually doing quite well with the colours. I don't want to disturb them too long, but I think it's working quite well. I think maybe the light I've got in is bleaching it out a wee bit. But you can see these cards now. You know, they're quite easy to use. Quite inexpensive as well. I mean, I think I paid about 15 quid for the pouches and the cards, and you get 400. So I'm doing not too bad with that. And this here is the spot nose female. As you can see, the big bulge in it. So I'll be looking for the next shed, the pre-lay shed on her, and that'll be kind of 30 days after that. So I'm really excited about her. I really want to get the Batman. So she went to the Leopard Pastel Het Clown. I'm quite excited about that. Anyway, I'm going to crack on and get some animals moved here, and I'll check back in with you in a bit. This girl here is the Enchi 66% Het Clown. I think she's going to end up proving out. I mean, just with the colours on her, you know, the Het Clown effect can really brighten them up. Keep that colour in there. So I think she's going to prove out. She's getting really chunky now. I mean, I can remember when she was just a wee tiny thing. She was barely big enough to eat a pinky sized rat. Look at her now. She's all grown up and full of eggs. So she's went to two males. She went to the Butter Clown, and then she went to the Leopard Pastel Het Clown. So hopefully she'll prove out, and hopefully we'll get some lovely leopard clowns. Here's hoping anyway. I'll just keep on moving on through these tubs, and I'll check in every so often and let you have a wee look at something I think you might like. I've got this wee clown male here. He's a 2019. I've had him into a few females this year, but he just doesn't seem to be doing the business. It's almost as if he's too shy and he kind of stays in the corner of the tubs, so we could give him a try a few times, maybe 3 or 4, and he wasn't up for it, so he'll get the rest of the year off and just give him some more time to grow a bit and gain some confidence, I think. He's a wee cracker. He was actually Had two of them in the clutch, two males, him and his brother. His brother was a lot darker than the dorsal. You see, like this black here. The brother was like that all the way down, but I like that kind of chocolate coming through. I think it's really nice. Anyway, he's going to go into a bigger tub, put a hide in there with him, and just let him chill out until he's a bit older. We'll try him again next season. He's got a gorgeous wee head, but he keeps on hiding it. Oh, let's see you in there. He's a beautiful wee creature. Hopefully he's ready next year. I mean, he's already nearly 1,000 grams, so he's well within breeding size. I think it's just a confidence thing with him. So we'll give him time to chill out this year and let him grow up a bit and see how he does next year. This girl here is going to stay in the big 60 litre ones. She's just a big normal. Well, I'm saying just. She's an absolute sweetheart. We were given her, she was a pet who could no longer be looked after. The girl had went to college and the parents didn't want to look after her. She'd been fed on pet shop mice all her life, so when we got her she was a nightmare to feed. She would only eat white things and very, very small things. I mean, she was 2-year-old and it looks like she's going to try and tag me there. There we go, there's a good girl. Aye, she was 2-year-old and she was very, very light for her size or for her age. And we've had her ever since. She's now eating Maltese that we breed ourselves, and she'll quite happily demolish a 60 gram Maltese regardless of what colour it is. For a while we even thought she was maybe blind or something, and that she couldn't see anything that wasn't white, but it was just that she'd been brought up on white mice. Now I got a question there after the last video, just asking why we keep normals, you know, and you know, what's the point? Well, we keep normals to prove things out, to help with the genes for years to come, sort of thing. I mean, she's only just finished tying today with a Pastel Parkway male, and as I says in the last video, we're not going to get any normals out of her. You know, we've got a 25% chance of getting an asphalt, a 25% spectre, 25% pastel asphalt, or 25% pastel spectre. You know, and I mean, I think most breeders keep at least one or two big normal females just to help prove things out. And she's actually, because she was a pet, she's one of the friendlier snakes we've got. So, I mean, as I say, she's going to stay in this tub because her temperament is really calm. She doesn't care whether she's in a big tub or a wee tub. She actually kicks the hide up and down the tub if you put one in beside her. So we just give her the space to sprawl out there. And she will eat. I mean, last year she ate right up until she laid eggs. In fairness, we were giving her small Maltese, about 20 grams, because she was like a big fat sausage. But she was still quite happily eating them. If she's still happy eating, she still gets fed. She's a beautiful girl, and she's a normal or classic or wild type, whatever you want to call her. You know, I've seen people giving normals away, and I think that's just shocking. I mean, she is an animal. She has worth, you know, she has a life. She deserves to be taken care of regardless of her morph. And, you know, she just happens to be one of the friendlier animals that we've got. My wife will quite often sit with her and she'll just spend time. And, I mean, Lady is her name, because my wife thinks she acts like a lady. Unless it's feeding day, then she's more like a hungry monster. Anyway, I thought I'd just answer that question as to why we keep normals. It's pretty easy, you know, to help us prove things out and to produce genes that we're wanting to go with other genes in future years. This wee girl here is another one that I think might prove out. She's a Het Toffee, 66% Het Pied, apparently. I'm just moving her to a smaller tub. She's one of the ones that I think will benefit from it. She's a wee cracker. Not the most friendly snake in the world, but aye. So, I mean, the Toffee Pied project wasn't something I was initially going to go into, but I got a deal with a guy, and then I ended up collecting a few more, so hopefully in a couple of years I'll have some Toffee Pieds going. I think I started off with 3, and now I've got 4 females to male. This wee girl, I think, she's a lot lighter than the rest. I'll show you some of the other ones. They're a good bit darker, so I think that's the Het Toffee working on her. Anyway, I'm going to stick a water bowl in here and her hide and just let her chill out now. This girl here is another one that's in the Toffee project. As you can see, she's an awful lot darker. She's one that I picked up down at Doncaster. I think she's coming up to ovulation, so I'm not going to mess with her too much. But you know, she has pied markers on her tail, or her belly at her tail, so I think she'll probably prove it to be pied, or Het Pied. Not so sure about the Toffee though, but time will tell. Anyway, I'm going to stick her in. As I say, she's not far from ovulation. She's had 4 ties this year, so she's building quite well. I'll stick her in and give her a wee bit of peace and quiet. Alright guys, that's me kind of moved everything round about that I need to move. And now I'm going to start putting all this lot onto the Husbandry Pro. And the ties we got for today, the Enchi Het Clown to the Lesser Clown, the normal to the Pastel Parkway, Het Desert Ghost 50% Het Clown to Het Desert Ghost 50% Het Clown, Pied male to the Pied female, Albino Leopard Spider to the Butter Het Albino male. So I've had a good day for ties. I think we're going to get a couple more. We've got the Blackhead Cinnamon Mojave in with the Super GHI, and they're tail to tail just now, so I expect they'll tie overnight. We have the Cherry Bomb in with the Butter Het Albino, and he's getting to the stage that he's doing quite well. He's very keen, shall we say. I think he's keener than her at the moment, but let's hope he's persistent and it pays off. Anyway guys, as I says, you know, this was basically a test to see how the new camera's doing, and you know, move some things round about, and I'll see you next time. Take care guys.